We're following the first week of getting to know a new horse. In this video I've ridden Kalsi 3 times in total, and you will already see some improvements in his response and top line. So we'll continue working on his suppleness, getting him a little more between my aids, between my legs and hands, and talk more about light cues, the importance of transitions, etc. I hope you enjoy. And it is the plan to do another session with Kalsi in a few weeks' time, maybe a month or 5-6 weeks. So stay tuned and look out for some new videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this. Thank you. Now I have Kalsi here with me for the 4th time, and I've ridden him a couple of times in between the last video. So now I'm going to see just how he has developed and continue on a little bit, trying to get him a bit more supple in the sides and also control of the top line. He's quite cool and easygoing, so I'm just gonna step straight up, go here to the side, grab hold of the mane if I like, and just gently go up halfway, wait for a moment, make sure he's standing still before I actually sit down. And now, as you can see, he's already learned this. Standing still makes sense. You might get a little treat. So here he comes, gets a little treat, and I pat him here a little bit, scratch him between the ears here on the forehead. I haven't really done the other side much yet, but that is something that I want to do as well, to teach him to go to both directions. I'm just going to try it here, but if he starts to walk, then I won't make any fuss out of it. When I do that, I put my whip here on that side, in between my leg basically and the saddle, just so that it's out of the way. And then I'll try here on this side as well, if he understands that. There you go, good boy. There you go. Yeah, see? Yeah, there you go. So it's the left side that he finds a little harder to bend generally. So that's why we started off with the right side, and he offers that, as you can see, much more easily. And now he's not about to go anywhere until I tell him, looks like, so that's a positive thing. However, now we're ready to go, I believe, so I say, and there we go. And in the beginning, I just want him to be kind of calm and relaxed, and I sit in a rather light seat. Same idea as before, that I'm just kind of a passenger in the beginning. I'm not really demanding anything. I just want him to be relaxed and calm with me, quite loose, light reins. And I don't really care too much where he goes. The puddles have dried up a tiny bit, so it's a bit better look in the arena. There we go. Good boy. There we go. And just for a few moments like that, I always find it is important to allow them to feel that they are allowed to stretch, that they're allowed to just relax in the beginning. I think it's just like with ourselves. If we start off for whatever lesson that we want to be doing and we're a bit stressed, our way of learning gets diminished, like it becomes compromised. So if we first make sure that we are relaxed and comfortable, then we can also much easier learn. There we go. So maybe even scratching him here a tiny bit. There you go. And like many of you might have gotten used to this patting, we're not really used to that much in Iceland, so I refrain from doing that, especially in the beginning with a new horse. And now I start to think about stopping, so I go ho, and he comes a little bit up. I lift just a tiny bit to follow him. It wasn't too much now. Want to send him maybe a tiny bit lower. There you go, and forward he goes again. Good boy. And the same thing here. I'm gonna stop him once again and say ho, ho. So tighten a little bit my seat, my bum, belly, upper thighs. Wait for him there. There. That's it. Good boy. And make sure that I release the rein as soon as he starts to yield a little bit towards down. So I want him to stretch his top line, not just to come down with his head. So we're trying to avoid getting him too much behind the bit, which can easily happen, but is usually just a little misunderstanding. So we want to have him stretching the top line so that we can actually feel the connection through the back all the way to the motor, which is in the hind, of course. There we go. And then once again to a stop. Oh. And I find already that he is more between my aids than he was the first couple of days. There you go. And walk. And now I'm going to see if I can make him, oh. Now I touched him a little bit with my leg to see if he would get a bit more round, maybe even crossing over, getting that shoulder a little bit. And then his first reaction, as before, of course, it's an old habit, I guess, there, is to raise his head a bit. There we go. But through the bending, sometimes we can get hold of that. There we go. There he bends a little bit better. There. And as I've said before, it's not so easy for him to bend. He doesn't seem to be really used to listening to the leg in that sense. He's not, he's learned it. He understands it up to some degree. Oh, now he's just getting a little stuck, so I had to stop him there. There we go. But he's not quite confident in it yet. So I have to just wait for him there. That's it. Good boy. And then again, little bit to the side. And even between the little finger and the ring finger lies the whip. So I can use it gently there on the shoulder just to help him there a little bit. There we go. Good boy. Now that was pretty good reaction. That's it. Good boy. There. Yes. Oh, no. And then there, that's what we were waiting for. The nice, relaxing sound of a horse that seems to understand a bit and is accepting. Good boy. And then once again, oh, to a stop. Oh, oh, wait for him here a little bit. Lift a little bit the hand as he came up, sending him a bit down. So once again, just to explain that, a flight animal will usually always try to pull against whatever is pulling on them or push against whatever is pushing. So the idea by lifting the hand, if a horse goes a little higher than what you're asking him to do, is that then the contact comes on the top part, like it comes upwards basically in the mouth, causing the horse, if he's thinking forward, to go against it, that is going down. There. So instead, if I try to hold him down, his first initial reaction would be to pull against it going upwards, which actually gets the lower neck muscles a little bit active, which is not really what we're after. There you go, good boy. And I've been doing a little tiny transitions like this, just to teach him that he doesn't need to lift his head too high or get very short in his top line just because my legs touch him. So he's getting a little bit more comfortable with that. And again. Good boy. There we go. So nice. And quite light reins. I'm not trying to hold him there. I just guide him gently. There you go. Good boy. And now I lost a little bit his shoulder here, the inside shoulder. So I'm sending him a little rounder. There we go. Just a bit. There. So nice. And then we're going to change direction as well. Try a bit on the other side. And here, there, good boy. So just the same thing here. First make sure that he is a little round around your inside leg. I want him to feel like he is confident being round and not making the circle smaller and smaller and smaller, which he has a bit of a tendency to do. And again, just training thing. He hasn't really gotten used to this type of a work, I guess, before. There we go. Hoppala. So nice. Good boy. And then, just a little bit there. Yeah, getting hold of that shoulder, drifting slightly towards the outside. And I can even emphasize that a tiny bit. It's very important, especially that I don't lean to the inside when I want him to move away from my inner leg. Instead, even sit a little slightly to the outside. Step a little bit out to the outside outside stirrup. There. It kind of helps him finding that balance towards the outside. So he's more following my balance and not being pushed away from my weight. And then the same thing here. I want to go a little bit into tilt. Gentle, nice little transitions. Good boy. There you go. That's it, and walk. So nice. So there I'm losing the shoulder a tiny bit. That's it, good boy. There you go. And I know, of course, I could have him tilting a bit longer, and maybe I will a little bit at the end, but my main goal here is just to get a little more control over his body, over his bending, over his sides and his top line. And it kind of comes much easier, I find, when we work quite slow and work on transitions. And through the transitions, he actually gains balance that helps him also in the gait itself. So the gait actually improves, even though we're maybe not riding it that much in a sense. And if he comes a little bit up with the nose here, I also lift a little bit the hands, see if I can guide him a bit lower there. That's it, good boy. And now my feeling is just with a tiny bit more energy there, his tilt would clean up even more and become a bit more fluid. There, good boy. And it's maybe good to mention as well that I have also trimmed his feet finally and put shoes on the front. Actually didn't manage in the back yet. There. But that was definitely needed. He had really long, very, very grown feet that were definitely in dire need of some attention. Good boy, there you go. The reason I didn't do that in the very beginning is that I want to feel a little bit more, get to know the horse, and I want them to feel a bit comfortable in their place and with me before I start to mess too much with their feet. After all, as a flight animal, it is a bit of a challenge. There you go, good boy. Now, I wouldn't mind if he could stretch a little bit more actually. Like he is a bit lower, I know that, but he's still a little short. So that comes with a bit more energy. So maybe I'll need to just tap him there a tiny bit, tell him to there, get a little more up, and then he pops his head up, and I need to follow him. And just before I lose the shoulder, I go down to walk again. Good boy, there we go. And then once again, maybe into the tilt, and then we'll check on the trot a little bit as well. There we go. Little bit too high, I follow his head, there, yeah. Whoopala. Lost his balance there a bit, good boy, there we go. Follow him up, there, yeah. Getting a little more, just a little more there. There we go. And oh, so now, gets a little stuck on the inside right, which is why also I can't really get him to stretch further. I find that he shortens, gets a bit stuck on the left side. Again, working on just getting him more flexible, more even between my aids will help that as well. Now I'm going to offer him the trot, and being a little forward in the seat, just offering as much space as he will need. He might just pop into the tilt first, there we go, and here's the trot. And then as he is getting a little more steady there, I can do the rising trot if I like. Careful there that you're not doing rising trot too much like here up, then you will get too slow. Oopala, I lost him there a little bit. Disturbed his balance, of course, with this. Follow him up, there you go. Good boy. And just staying in the light seat is fine as well. Yeah, there you go. And you see he gets a little bit forward, so I bend him and try to follow him up there a little bit as well. Sending him even a little bit lower. Losing a little bit that shoulders. So I need to get him here around my inside again. There we go. Good boy. Now, we're almost done now for the moment. Just want to do a little bit into the tilt again. There we go. And just feel here, he comes a little bit up. I follow him up, loosen the shoulders. My inside leg is a little bit on. Asking for a bit more energy. There we go. Follow him up if he comes higher. Sending him a little bit lower. There. And again, loosen a little bit the shoulders. That's it. But all in all, I find he has been here now, well, for 2 weeks in total. I didn't do anything at all in the beginning, except just saying hi and brushing them a bit. So we followed him basically for a week's training. And within a week, I find that he has improved quite well. And he's smart, he's cool, calm, he's easy to teach. He is, of course, also not a youngster. It's not like he's doing this for the first time. You can't approach a youngster that is completely green this same way. You'll have to give them obviously more time to understand things. But he is, I find, very cooperative and is trying his best, even though his, well, a bit overweight body and a bit stiff needs definitely some more suppling work. And follow him up, sending him a little bit down. There we go, one more time. And follow him up, there we go. So you see, he's starting to understand this about sending down pretty well. Good boy, there you go. And And even though he still comes up, of course, a bit, and is not maybe as long as I would like him, it is certainly improving a bit. One more step, there, Just because I would like him to stop there. And keep in mind, before you climb off, to dismount a horse is also a reward. So you can use it as a reward. So I want him to offer me, there, quite low, stretching him. So I want to reward this, basically. And then I jump off. There you go. Good boy. Yes, that's it. Nice work. Now, thank you very much, and feel free to send some comments or questions if you like on my tube. Don't forget to like it, to subscribe to it if you like, and I'll keep something more common in the future. Thank you.